Hey people, it's me3 here, and welcome back to another video. Today, the patch notes for Apex Legends Legacy have just came out, so we are going to go over them real quick. And yeah, let's get right into them. So, yeah, top of here, dev stream take a deep dive with the devs into the Legacy update. We're going beyond Battle Royale with arenas introducing a new legend, Valkyrie, as well as new arenas maps and Olympus map update, and much more. Click the video down below to watch. So that's the dev stream, so go ahead and watch it. New for Apex Legends Legacy Arenas. The games are going underground with the introduction of a new permanent mode, Arenas. Fully reassembled and unimpressed with the glitz and armor of the Apex games, former Apex Predator Ash is taking the competition back to its roots, a pure form of combat. The rules are simple: 3 versus 3. Eliminate your enemies to win the round. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. You win or you die. Arenas features a new set of custom maps tailor-made for close quarters combat, with more to come in the future. Squads start each round in a spawn room where they can get weapons, gear, and abilities, and adjust their loadout as their strategy changes. The first team to win 3 rounds with at least a 2-point lead will be crowned the victor unless they battle to a 4-4 tie. Then they'll have the honor of participating in Ash's favorite part of the game, sudden death. For more on Apex Arenas, check out the blog for a full deep dive into the new mode. So here's the Party Crasher map. Party Crasher is one of the 2 exciting custom arenas where you'll be able to show off your skills. This arena takes place in a ritzy downtown plaza where team players can choose to engage on the Crash Mirage Voyage or the opulent 2-story buildings that make up the downtown. Stay vigilant as this map hosts a variety of engagement distances, both close quarters and long distance. Phase Runner. Phase Runner on Olympus is unique, but it wasn't the first of its kind. Phase Runner is the second of our custom arenas and our largest. You'll fight in a hidden experimental zone at the peak of the mountain where a prototype Phase Runner is ready for use. This map gives you a lot of space to maneuver, so be sure to be on the lookout for those who prefer to be patient and take you out from afar. Sound, tactics, and clear communication are what you'll need to come out on top as you fight through the construction site or near the Phase Runner exit. In addition to the 2 new maps, other arenas from our 3 BR maps will be thrown into a bi-weekly rotation, giving you 5 maps total for arenas. At the start, you'll get Artillery from Kings Canyon, Thermal Station from World's Edge, and Golden Gardens from Olympus. Valkyrie. So there's a video that just got posted showing Valk's abilities, so you can go check that out if you want. I'll actually leave the links to the dev stream and this video in the description. Kyrie Imahara, the daughter of Apex Predator Viper, salvaged the remains of her father's North Star Titan years after his death. With Rampart's help, she fashioned it into a sleek new jetpack that honors her family's legacy. Now she's entered the games under the name Valkyrie. Passive VTOL jets. Use your jetpack to reposition or reach high places. You have limited fuel and cannot use weapons while flying. Tactical Missile Swarm. Fire a swarm of mini-rockets which damage and disorient the enemy. Ultimate Skyward Dive. Take to the skies to reposition a long distance across the map. Your squad mates can join it. And our class is Recon Scanning. Survey Beacons reveals the next circle's location. So her abilities are pretty close to what they were when they were leaked, except for the tactical. It was a cluster missile change to a missile swarm. I actually got to see like what Valk's abilities are like, and she does seem like a pretty balanced and good legend. I just think the tactical though has a 30-second cooldown, and that's like my only slight little problem, because I don't really feel like offensive abilities like that should have that long of a cooldown. But that's just my opinion. I think Valk seems like she's going to be a pretty decent legend when she comes into the game, and a few other people have said so too. Okay, here's the Bowcheck bow. The new Bowcheck, pronounced Bowcheck, Compound Bow is a precision marksman weapon that rewards a skilled and confident hand. Holding down fire will draw the bow over a short time, increasing the power of the shot, with maximum power giving optimal damage and projectile speed. Repeatedly firing the Bowcheck, or as it reaches max power, provides the best sustained damage. The Bowcheck uses a new ammo type, arrows, which are unique to this weapon. Arrows are more rare on the battlefield, but fired arrows will stick into surfaces and remain in the world for players to pick back up and reuse. The 1x HCOG Classic, 1x Holosite, 2x HCOG, 2x Variable, and 3x HCOG Optics can all be equipped. The Bowcheck can also be further modified with the 2 new hop-ups entering the game, Shadowcaps and Deadeyes Tempo. You can even equip both hop-ups simultaneously. Now that I like. I wish they could do that with like Havoc, to be honest. But or even like the Wingman, but Skull Piercer has been taken out in this update, and I'll get into that as soon as we get to that part. Olympus, the Lost Fleet update. A fleet of mysterious ships have made their way to Olympus and brought with them an otherworldly parasitic plant that has begun to take root along the surface. The lead ship, the Icarus, has docked with the city and changed the landscape for good. Fight through the claustrophobic halls of the ghost ship, search corpses for a mysterious keycard, and walk away as the last squad standing. Read our latest map update blog to get a detailed look at what's changed on Olympus. To allow everyone to see the latest map update, Olympus will be the only map in rotation for the first week of the new season. And this is going to be a really exciting change coming up. Starter kit and loot changes. Players will now start a match with a starter kit consisting of a level 1 Evo shield, helmet, and knockdown shield, plus 2 shield cells and syringes each. By removing level 1 helmets and knockdown shields from the loot pool, spawn chances for level 1 Evo shields in the loot pool have been significantly reduced. Along with lowered or removed spawn chances for these items, we've rebalanced the loot pool such that higher level versions of these items will appear nearly the same as they do now, but other items types will appear more often: weapons, ordnance, health, ammo, etc. And here's the dev note. We've wanted to take a crack at improving the loot game for a while, with our design goals being to make picking up loot feel more impactful to the game and to thin out our loot a bit in general, since we're always adding new items to the pool. The recent locked and loaded takeover at the very beginning of Season 9 and the anniversary event helped us field test some of the changes we're looking to make moving forward. Certain pieces of loot and low-tiered loot types specifically are being put on notice. We're removing level 1 helmets and knockdown shields from the ground loot because these seem the least exciting, least meaningful equipment pickups we had. The power is practically invisible, so they don't really feel like a character improvement in the way that things like, say, a backpack feels. Getting those extra slots feels so chunky. We're keeping level 1 Evo shields in the loot pool, albeit at a lower spawn chance, in addition to adding them to your starter kit because having them sprinkled around is still important for shield swapping shenanigans. Finally, granting these pieces of gear from the start of the game is also intended to improve the hot drop situation. Having more health, some headshot damage reduction, and a little knockdown protection can help give players some more time to react to a chaotic hot drop than before. Be on the lookout for more loot changes in the future. This will be an ongoing project. And now we got emotes coming into the game, ground emotes. Introducing emotes. Every legend will have one emote unlocked at launch, and additional emotes can be obtained through Apex packs or by crafting them. Equip your emotes to the emote wheel and flex away. It's great fun to show off to your squad mates in the starting room of arenas. And of course, you have to use them on the winner's podium. Now, since emotes kick your camera back to a third-person view, some folks are thinking about corner peeking. Competitive integrity is still paramount, so enemies that your character can't see in first-person view will not be shown while you're in third person. This video shows the anti-peek feature working on the purple dummy behind the rock. Without it, Pathfinder would be able to use the third-person camera to get knowledge that he shouldn't have. All emotes have anti-peek enabled, and there is no way to disable it. So that's anti-peek enabled and anti-peek disabled. Now we have the Battle Pass. Unlock the Premium Legacy Battle Pass and level it up to unlock new skins like Rampart's Crafty Kitsune at Premium level 25, and Wraith's Demon's Whisperer at Premium level 50. And of course, there's going to be a lot more stuff in the Battle Pass. Let's get into the legend changes. This is going to be really interesting. Legend updates. Low profile characters. Low profile no longer exists. This trait has been removed from Wraith, Lifeline, Watson. Let's go, Wraith mains rejoice, and Lifeline and Watson mains too. After our successful experiment with Wraith's hitboxes, we are now confident that we can solve balance issues between smaller and larger legends through changes to their kits and hitboxes. It is finally time for low profile to go the way of the dodo. Sorry, dodos. Lifeline. Combat Revive. No longer deploys a shield, can now revive 2 players at the same time, can now cancel active revives in progress to allow your teammates to defend themselves with their knockdown shields. So yeah, big nerf, but kind of a buff with being able to revive 2 players. Doc Heal Drone. Heal rate increased from 5 HP per second to 8 HP per second. Deployment time before healing begins reduced by roughly 33%. This is really good. Care Package. Cooldown reduced from 6 minutes to 5 minutes. Now guarantees an upgrade if possible in 3 categories: body shield, other equipment, helmet, backpack, and knockdown shield, and weapon attachment based on your team's current gear when the package arrives. This is a really good change, to be honest. Now Lifeline's care package will be really good, and yeah. And this is the dev note. Lifeline's kit was not in a particularly healthy place. The passive shield was extremely strong to the point of frustration. That is true. While her tactical and ultimate seemed like they were becoming more and more obsolete. These changes are aimed to redistribute this big power differential between all of her abilities, making Doc and Care Package more powerful and effective, while tamping down on the highly binary and situational combat revive. Seriously, the combat revive was getting really annoying. Like it was kind of making me mad at Lifelines in game. So I'm kind of glad that happened, but I feel sorry for your Lifeline mains. But at least the Doctrone and Care Package got pretty good buff. Octane. Stim. Reduced cooldown between stims from 4 seconds to 1 second. Increased health cost from 12 HP to 20 HP. Increased bullet spread while in the air and shooting from the low launch pad trajectory. Dev note. Octane continues to perform really well after the latest changes. Too well? We still have the frequency of the jump pad, but we'd like to make using stims something Octane thinks about doing at the right time, instead of always slamming it by default. Octane, I think, has become like the #1 most picked legend in the game. Like, I always see Octanes now. Like, if I ever get a duo teammate, Octane most of the time. So yeah, it's really cool that Octane used to be kind of like a little bit of a lower tier legend, but then he just became like a really good legend. But it was really annoying coming up against him. But yeah, he's became a really good repositioning legend, and he's become really good in ranked as well. So now like anyone who plays Octane has to be a little more strategic, I guess, when using his stim, since it does a little more damage. I don't know if this is gonna be enough though to make him like not as powerful as the devs think he is. In my opinion, he's in a pretty balanced spot. And honestly, this is just my opinion, but why did they have to put the cooldown at 1 second? It should have just stayed at like 4 seconds, because like if someone isn't thinking about like how they use the stim and they're just trying to get away from the enemy, it's just really annoying having to chase an Octane who has his stim available like in 1 second. Those are just my thoughts, but yeah, okay, moving on. Loba, Burglar's best friend, can now run and slide at full speed while aiming the bracelet, and while the bracelet is in the air. Loba will no longer be slowed after translocating. Nice. Fixed a lot of bugs that caused bracelet tosses to fail. Black Market Boutique increased cooldown from 90 seconds to 120 seconds. Okay, so yeah, this is a much needed change. Like a lot of people pretty much complain about her bracelet, like how it's kind of like a death trap or whatever. So this was a really good change. I think Loba will definitely become probably a lot better of a legend because of this. Like, she was already like a pretty decent legend with like the black market. I think that's where her kit like shined the most, but now it's pretty much going to be both these. And I guess like having the bracelet buff, it's like a trade, I guess, for the black market boutique nerf. But yeah, okay, moving on. Horizon, gravity lift. Reduced lift speed by 30%. Reduced side-to-side acceleration. Limited the time you can set at the top of gravity lift to 2 seconds. Increased cooldown from 15 seconds to 20 seconds. So yeah, Horizon got a nerf, and I actually watched the Gaming Merchant's video. He actually went over this change, and he said that it was kind of clunky. So yeah, when the update goes live, I'll check that out in firing range, whatever. Horizon's abilities will now get zapped by Watson pylons. Sheesh. Oof. So now Watsons can counter Horizons. Alright. Dev note. Horizon is powerful and unpopular, but that's not why we're making these changes. We believe that mistakes in Apex Legends should be punishable, and when Horizon could just get out of bad positioning while popping a whole battery, this just wasn't true. These changes have 2 goals. 1, make it much more possible for enemies to shoot Horizon as she sits in her gravity lift, and 2, make gravity lift less of an impromptu sniper tower. Alright, moving on. Fuse, Knuckle Cluster. Fuse now has 2 stacks of Knuckle Cluster, reduced cooldown from 25 seconds to 20 seconds. So his Knuckle Cluster now has 2 charges, but that's honestly how I feel like it should have been like when he first came out. to be honest, and with a slightly lower cooldown because, again, like kind of like what I said, like when I was kind of talking about Valk, I feel like abilities like offensive abilities like this kind of got to have like a shorter cooldown, especially if you're like especially if like you're going to be getting to a bunch of fights like at some point or whatever. Dev note. More help is coming, but we want to be very careful of how we buff him so that he doesn't just become the legend that kills you with his abilities. Yeah. I hope they can like buff his ultimate sometime in the future because in my opinion that needs a slight buff as well, not just his tactical. His passive is alright. Bangalore, smoke launcher, thicken Bangalore smoke. Dev note, last patch we optimized Bangalore's smoke particles and inadvertently thinned them out. This aims to get her back to the original visuals while keeping the optimizations. So yeah, like the beginning of Season 8, I think, or yeah, it was either the beginning of Season 8 or it was the Chaos Theory update. I don't exactly remember which one, but they accidentally like made the particles of Caustic's and Bangalore's gas and smoke. They made it easier to see through them. I didn't really see a complete difference, but alright. Moving on to Bloodhound. Bloodhound no longer receives assists from I, the Allfather. Dev note. Bloodhound scan is strong, but the goal of this change in particular is to reconsider assists and their implications for rank points. There is enough intrinsic value in sonar scans, and it's a slippery slope to consider crediting assists for other non-damaging abilities. Crypto will remain an exception. The active nature of Crypto's drone scan is notably different from the passive option with Bloodhound. This should encourage Bloodhound players to act on the information they get from the scan to eliminate instances where they might try to snag a quick assist without committing to a fight in the same way Crypto has to. Alright. Crypto. Crypto's drone can now scan and open care packages. He can no longer use his drone to hijack a respawn beacon that's already in use. Interesting. Now let's move on to the weapon changes. We got the new Marksman Weapon category. The G7 Scout and the 3030 are currently in the Assault Rifle Weapons category, but they are a bit strange in that category due to their firing style and some of their handling values. Similarly, the Triple Take felt a little out of place in the Sniper category. I think it was pretty decent in the Sniper category, but I guess with like how it's probably like the most versatile Sniper, I guess you could probably say it's a little more of a Marksman weapon. Yeah, it is what it is. With the introduction of the bow-check bow, we felt it was a good time to introduce a new weapons category, Marksman Weapons, which will include the G7, 3030, Triple Take, and bow-check. Weapons in this category are precision weapons that are most effective up to medium-long range, and are the sort of in-betweens of assault rifles and snipers. This allows us to begin moving the settings of these weapons toward more consistent values for the class, and make the settings of ARs and snipers more consistent with less outliers. For starters, we are increasing the movement speed while aiming down snipes for marksman weapons. They were at sniper speeds and will now be between sniper and ARs. Additionally, we have done some targeted normalization of hipfire spread amount. I feel like the movement speed while ADS, I feel like that was kind of needed, especially for the I just feel like they were pretty much needed for the G7 Scout primarily. I don't really use the 3030 too much, so I don't really pay attention to the speed while aiming down sights with that one. I don't use the G7 or the 3030 that much, so I don't really pay too much attention to their ADS speed. But yeah, I feel like that was pretty much needed, especially how they're not snipers. And this G7 was changed from a sniper to an assault rifle back in Season 4, so it probably should have gotten its like ADS strafe time, or strafe speed, I mean, like reduced at then. But yeah, I feel like this was pretty good time to introduce the new class with the bow or whatever. Supply drop rotation. This season, we're taking the Peacekeeper out of the supply drop and putting the Triple Take in its place. Of course, with any supply drop change, these weapons will have their stats updated. See how each weapon changes down below. Crate weapon drop rates. Since we are exchanging a shotgun with a marksman weapon, now is a good time to rebalance the drop rates of crate weapons. The Kraber will spawn less often in the early game and more often in mid-game to better accommodate its power. The Triple Take will be the most common early game crate weapon, with the Prowler being the most prominent late game crate weapon. Fully kitted rotation, added Wingman, Bowcheck, R99, Hemlock, and Sentinel, removed the 3030, R301, Mozambique, Longbow, and Spitfire. Hop-ups, Shatter Caps. Fire select to toggle between standard mode and shatter mode. In shatter mode, round split into a blast pattern on fire. This hop-up will be equipable to the 3030 and the Bowcheck. Deadeye's tempo. Firing at the perfect moment increases fire rate. This can currently be attached to the Sentinel and the Bowcheck. To make room, the Hammer Point and Skull Piercer hop-ups have been vaulted for now and won't be available. That's a little sad. Assault Rifles. Reducing the headshot multiplier for all assault rifles from 2.0 to 1.75. Dev note. This was already the case with Hemlock, so the affected guns are the R301, Flatline, and Havoc. Peacekeeper. It comes with a precision choke by default, which can be toggled off. Pellet damage reduced from 10 to 9. Rechamber time increased from 0.9 seconds to 1.1 seconds. Reload times increased regular from 2.45 to 2.5. Empty from 3.35 to 3.5. Pellet spread increased in general, and spread when charged increased for all charge levels from 0.65, 0.45, 0.2 to 0.85, 0.65, 0.35. Quickly loses charge after leaving AES. Dev note. Since the Peacekeeper is coming out of the crate, we're bringing many of the stats back in line with their previous values. We're also reducing its damage potential and bringing in the effective range a bit, since Precision Choke is always available now. Triple Take. As a crate weapon, it will come with a 9 ammo clip and 63 reserve ammo. That's pretty decent reserve ammo, to be honest. I wish they had that for the Kraber. Fire rate increased from 1.2 to 1.3. Time to full charge reduced from 1.1 seconds to 1 second. Retains charge briefly after leaving ADS. Move speed while aiming down sights has been increased to match other marksman weapons. Faster than snipers, slower than ARs. Increased spread while airborne and aiming down sights. Havoc. Increased recoil controllability early in pattern. Dev note. This should help make up for the reduced headshot multiplier and make it a bit more usable in mid-range fights. Spitfire. Reduced recoil control movability early in the pattern. Dev note. The Spitfire is too strong at the moment, boasting good damage output with low recoil. Making it a bit harder to control early in the pattern should give more time for opponents to fight against it. That said, we're prepared to make more changes to Spitfire if it remains too powerful. I think it just needs its damage decreased from 1 point and give it a tad bit more recoil. The Spitfire is just really annoying to come up against. Seriously, that's the only weapon I feel like I ever see people using anymore, and it just feels so frustrating to get killed by one. So at least they're taking steps to try to nerf it. 30-30 repeater. Increased leg damage multiplier from 0.75 to 0.85. Move speed while aiming down sights has been increased to match other marksman weapons, faster than snipers, slower than ARs. Dev note. 30-30 could use some love, so we're bringing up the amount of leg damage it does. This should make it a bit more consistent without raising its high best case damage potential. Really interesting change. G7 Scout. Basically saying you'll take it. Its aiming down sight speed is increased to match the other marksman weapons. Increased hipfire spread size, reduced accuracy to be more in line with other marksman weapons. Alright. 30-30. Note, the 30-30 repeater and the Bowcheck compound bow have more accurate hipfire than the baseline marksman weapon values, so the G7 Scout will be less accurate hipfire than these other weapons. Alright. Longbow. Increased headshot multiplier from 2.0 to 2.15. Wingman increased headshot multiplier from 2.0 to 2.15. This is because they removed the Skull Piercer, as you can see here. So it's compensatory buff. Mozambique. Increased magazine capacity from 4 to 6. Moving the lower 2 pellets inward in the blast pack. Dev note. This brings up the baseline power level, so only finding Mozambique early in the match gives you more of a fighting chance and makes up the removal of hammer points. So the Mozambique is not the Mozambeast. It's just a good weapon for just off drop now. Oh man. I'm gonna miss the hammer points on that thing. It was insane. P2020. Increased bullet damage from 15 to 18. Lowered fire rate from 8.5 to 6.25. Dev note. Similar to the Mozambique, we want to bring up the P2020's baseline power level a little bit. Most players couldn't take the advantage of the fast fire rate, so bringing that down while increasing damage should help players win more early fights with the P2020. Arc Stars. Aim and movement slow removed from the initial stick. Dev note. Sticking someone should feel rewarding, considering it's a rare occurrence that's difficult to pull off. While an argument can be made that getting stuck should be a personal death sentence, the inability to at least relocate and spare teammates from the follow-up explosion makes it hard to counter against a coordinated team. This change should help mitigate that without stripping away the satisfaction of hitting a nice stick. Interesting change. And it was said like they were gonna do that like a little earlier on. Whatever. Quality of life. Badges are now sorted by categories and can be filtered by all or unlocked only. This suggestion came directly from players. Thank you. It's so much better. I agree. Even though I didn't ask for it, I agree. When looting death boxes, players can now see health bars for everyone on the team. Well, that's interesting. Kind of nice. Challenges can now be favorited by going into the challenge menu and right-clicking a challenge. That challenge will be added to a new favorites tab that will appear in the lobby and in the matches map screen. Pretty interesting change. Pressing and holding F2 while in game will bring up the ability description page for your character. This is only available on PC. Players can now request better equipment by going into their inventory and picking a piece of equipment. I feel like that was needed because like, yeah, like just, yeah, that is something that's needed. That was needed. Thank you. Your first challenger role of the day is now free. Rerolling your challenges will allow you to choose from either BR-focused challenges or arena-focused ones. Hollow sprays, quips, and emotes can be favorited. These will be used whenever the player is prompted to do a random emote. Club Invites Volume 2. You can now include what you want to play when you send your clubmates a party invite via the Club tab. Select as many clubmates as you want to send the invite to at once via the member list. Ranked. Fixed edge cases where an abandoned penalty would be incorrectly applied due to server errors. Flight path adjustments. Removing edge dropship flight paths to prevent matches where large portions of the map receive little to no traffic. These screenshots show a before and after comparison of possible flight paths on King's Canyon. Before and after. Well, I think this is the before and this is the after. Ring update. We're continuing work from the Fight Night update to improve match pacing toward the end of the game. We're slowing down the closing speed of the late game rings to allow you more time to fight and maneuver your way into the ring. We're also reducing the waiting time before Ring 4 and Ring 6 start to close. Ring 4 pre-shrink time reduced from 2 minutes to 1 minute and 45 seconds. Ring 4 shrink speed reduced from 33-second close time to 40 seconds. Ring 5 shrink speed reduced from 20-second close time to 40 seconds. Ring 6 pre-shrink time reduced from 1 minute 30 seconds to 1 minute. Ring 6 shrink speed reduced from 1 minute 40 seconds, close time to 2 minutes. And there's a bunch of bug fixes. I'm not really gonna go over this. And yeah, so those are the patch notes. So pretty interesting patch notes in my opinion. And yeah, let me know what you think about these in the comments, I guess. Like, yeah. Wait, are you excited about the starter kit or the locked and loaded coming into the game? Olympus changes, Valkyrie, arenas. Like, let me know what you think about all of these in the comments below. So yeah, still pretty hyped for this season. And yeah. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like. And if you're brand new here to the channel, be sure to subscribe. We are 13 subscribers away from 100, so I would really appreciate it if you would take some time to subscribe to the channel. And yeah. And also be sure to turn on that bell icon so you can get notified for whenever I upload a video. Be sure to join my Discord and Guilded server. I'll leave a link to both of those in the description below. And I'll also leave the link to the patch notes, just in case if you want to read them again for yourself or whatever. And I'll also leave a link to the dev stream and the Valkyrie ability video in the description as well. And be sure to follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/3LNEX. I'm going to try to stream, or actually stream, in Season 9 Legacy. So yeah, stay tuned, I guess. And yeah, again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and let me know what you think about the patch notes in the comments, and I'll see you later for another video. Bye.